Have you ever wondered what would happen if the very person who gave you life was also the one who stole your childhood, your health, even your life itself? Today's story isn't a sensational crime case. There's no blood, no murder, but it's one of the most painful and real survival journeys I've ever read. A mother, a famous influencer, turned her own daughter into content for social media. The price, an entire life. This isn't an easy story to hear, but it's a story that deserves to be told. Are you ready? Chapter 1. My Mother and Love Through Food. I used to think my mom was the most wonderful person in the world. When I was little, she always said, "Cooking is my love language." And honestly, our family dinners were always lavish, filled with the scent of butter cheese bacon and rich, creamy sauces. The neighbor kids would look on with envy while I happily devoured 2 full plates without a second thought. I was only 9, and my sister Olivia was 10. My mom called those dinners family bonding time, but the truth was, she never actually ate with us. She was always busy adjusting the camera angle, setting up the lighting, or jotting something down in her pale pink notebook. I always just thought she was a perfectionist. But then one morning, Mom asked Olivia and me to step on the scale. Every time the number went up, she'd flash this smile, a creepy kind of smile, as if we'd just won an Olympic gold medal. Back then, I was just happy because she was happy. I had no idea my mother was secretly adding weight gain powder to our spaghetti sauce every night. And I had no idea that every photo, every secretly recorded video of us eating panting as we climbed the stairs or falling asleep on the couch, all of it was being uploaded online as some kind of healthy parenting journey diary. I was 4'11", 150 centimeters, and weighed nearly 200 pounds, 90 kilos at 12. Olivia was even bigger. She broke 240 pounds, 110 kilos at 13. But Mom never seemed worried. On the contrary, she said, "This is the perfect starting point." For what exactly? For the transformation journey, as she called it. Mom announced we were starting a new, healthy diet. She set up a camera right at the dinner table and began recording us talking about our feelings while dieting. The new regime was 800 calories a day, 1/5 of what we used to eat. And from that day on, everything we did was recorded. I had no idea I was stepping into a game where the prize wasn't health, but views. Chapter 2. Social Media Star. Starving? The change happened so fast I couldn't even process what was happening. A week ago, it was fried chicken drumsticks, deep dish pizza, and ice cream for dessert. 1 week later, it was nothing but watery soup detox drinks and tiny protein bars Mom claimed were premium for professional weight loss. Mom filmed videos every day. She put cameras everywhere, from plate-level angles to close-ups of our faces, even slow-motion shots of me grimacing as I bit into a piece of raw vegetable. She called it documenting our healthy living journey. I called it legal torture. We were starving to the point where we'd slurp the water used to wash vegetables if Mom wasn't looking. Sometimes I thought sneaking a swallow of toothpaste would make me less hungry than waiting for my 200-calorie lunch. And Mom, she was ecstatic, like she was about to win an Oscar. Her follower count shot up. The comments poured in, "Wow, you're so inspiring," or "These girls are so cute, keep going." Mom read each comment aloud as if telling me a bedtime story. The only problem was, in fairy tales, the princess is never filmed in close-up as she's on the verge of tears from hunger. I gradually learned to hide cookies in my bra, sneaking into the bathroom to wolf them down like a criminal. I'm not proud, but it was the only way to hold onto a shred of sanity. Meanwhile, Olivia, my sister, went in the opposite direction. She starved herself, completely exercised, obsessively filming videos with Mom all day long. One time she fainted right in the middle of a shoot. Did Mom scream out of worry? She screamed because her phone didn't catch a good angle. After that, Mom gifted Olivia a MacBook and wrote the caption, "She's a warrior." Even with low blood sugar, she doesn't give up. My sister was in the hospital hooked up to an IV, and Mom threw a party to celebrate 50,000 followers where Olivia didn't get a single bite. I saw it all, but I kept trying. I learned to edit videos, shoot product photos, write captions, and tag hashtags to boost engagement. I thought if I couldn't make mom love me for my flat stomach, maybe she'd love me for helping her become famous. But no. Mom only looked at me with disappointment. You should learn from Olivia. Starve a little more. That belly is ruining the whole brand. That's when I realized my health was never what mom cared about. What she needed was content, was shares, was those before and after photos to sell diet supplements. My mother had chosen the internet over me. Chapter 3, My Sister Mom's Warrior. I always thought Olivia was stronger than me. She was a year older, taller, more confident, the kind of kid who once punched a classmate for stealing my pencil. But I never imagined she'd be the one most deeply hurt. One evening, I got home from school earlier than usual. The house was eerily quiet. I called her name, but no one answered. Then I saw the bathroom door slightly ajar. Olivia was collapsed on the cold tile floor, her face ghostly pale, as if all the blood had been drained from her. Beside her was an empty bottle of laxatives. I rushed over, my hands shaking as I tried to check her pulse the way I'd learned in science class, but the moment I touched her wrist, Olivia's eyes fluttered open. She recoiled sluggishly, whispering as if in a trance, "Don't touch me. I'm still bloated." Mom said, "If I lose another 5 kilos this week, Netflix will invite us for a docuseries." I was paralyzed, not because she had nearly died, but because she thought this was normal. From that moment, I knew my sister wasn't my sister anymore. She was mom's first success story, an influencer living on moments of weakness, fainting and vomiting behind the camera. An inspirational doll that everyone praised. And the worst part? She was proud of it. I used to resent my sister for being the one mom loved more, but now I just felt afraid and sorry, because it turned out the one mom loved more was also the one she destroyed the most. And me? I started to give up. I swallowed the foul brown pills mom handed me. I ran for 2 hours a day on an empty stomach. I smiled for the camera when mom posted my before and after photos, even though I hadn't had my period in 3 months. I lied to myself. Maybe if I get skinny fast enough, mom will hug me like she used to hug Olivia. I thought I was just enduring, but really, I was disappearing. Chapter 4, The Injection Returns. I didn't want to go back. I tried everything to avoid it, used excuses about my class schedule, claimed I was sick, even faked a hoarse voice over the phone. But mom kept calling. She called again and again. Finally, she texted Olivia's in bad shape. She needs you. The moment I heard my sister's name, I caved. I agreed to come home for Thanksgiving. The flight lasted over 4 hours, but the moment I stepped through the door, I knew I'd made a mistake. Cameras everywhere, live stream lights, microphones hanging from the ceiling, like a movie set, where I was the unwitting character. And then I saw Olivia, skinny, cheekbones jutting out, a sharply pointed chin, teeth so white they looked porcelain, an unnatural white that sent shivers down my spine. She was so thin, she didn't look human anymore, just a moving skeleton. And mom. She came closer, looking me up and down. Her slender fingers gripped my upper arm, squinting. "You've put on weight again, haven't you?" I didn't even have time to react before she pulled out a syringe from her purse. No warning, no hesitation. I heard the click as the needle went into my thigh. A burning sensation spread instantly. "It's just B12, mom smiled. "You'll thank me when you're beautiful again." I screamed. Olivia rushed over and held me down. Her bony hands clamped my wrist like a steel cuff. "Mom's helping you," she whispered. "Why don't you get it? She just wants what's best for you." My whole body started to tremble. My heart pounded like war drums. My vision blurred, pain shooting through my chest with every beat. I could hear mom adjusting the lighting. She was setting up for a breakthrough emotions video shoot. I don't remember what happened next. All I know is when I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital. 2 days later. The doctor said if I'd arrived just 5 minutes later, I wouldn't have survived. What Mom injected wasn't B12. It was a banned weight loss compound that caused acute kidney failure, and what choked me up most of all was that Olivia was the one who called for help. She finally saw the truth, and for the first time in years, I saw a chance to end all of this. Chapter 5: Manipulation. When I woke up in the hospital, the first person I saw was Mom. She sat in the corner chair, phone pressed to her ear, her worried look so perfectly fake. The police showed up that same day. A young officer stood by my bed, notepad in hand. I trembled as I tried to tell everything: the syringe, the strange substance, how Olivia held me down. But my mouth was crooked, my mind hazy from the meds. I listened to myself speak and couldn't believe it. I sounded like someone hallucinating. And Mom walked in right on cue. She cried, placed her hand on my forehead like I was 6 years old, looked at the officer, her voice trembling. She has a history of mental health issues. She's self-harmed before, her sister's in therapy. I'm just trying to save them both. The officer nodded, flipped his notebook, jotted something down. I wanted to scream. She's lying. But my tongue was heavy, my arm still attached to an IV. The doctor walked in. Instantly, Mom switched into devoted mother mode, bombarding him with questions about medication dosage, side effects, like she genuinely cared. I overheard her telling the nurse that I had serious eating disorders, that I'd begged for B12 shots because of chronic fatigue. Mom even showed them an old message where I'd written, "Mom, I'm tired. I wish I could be healthy like Olivia." I really had sent that message, but it was me crying for help, not begging for poison. And just like that, the narrative flipped. Suddenly, I was no longer the victim. I was the rebellious child, the delusional one back to destroy the family. And Mom, once again, became the star of the tragedy she wrote herself. The single mom, fighting to heal her two mentally ill daughters. She posted to Instagram that very night a photo of the hospital door captioned, "Another sleepless night. But for my children, I'll never give up. Mother Warrior. Healing Journey." I read it, gritted my teeth, and tried to comment to expose the truth. 5 seconds later, my account was blocked. I didn't just lose my voice. I was slowly losing my right to exist in my own story. Chapter 6: Isolation. I thought the worst was over. I was wrong. After surviving the injection and ending up in the hospital, I thought, finally I have a chance to expose her, but I had no idea. That was just the prelude. The police said they were still investigating. The doctor wasn't sure if the kidney failure was from the injection or an internal cause. The only person who ever believed me, a young nurse, started completely avoiding me afterward. Maybe she was afraid of losing her job. My mother, on the other hand, doubled down on posting photos of me lying in the hospital, cropped so my face wouldn't show, with captions that made it seem like I was depressed after a breakup. "She's so fragile, but I'll always be here even if she doesn't realize it." I tried leaving a comment. It wouldn't post. I tried making a new account. 10 minutes later, I was reported for harassment. Then my friends, one by one, started going silent. A close friend messaged me, "I don't know who to believe. Your mom really looks heartbroken. Or maybe you're overreacting." Another friend said I'm still following her because her diet recipes are actually pretty good. Don't be mad, okay? That's when I realized I was losing. And not because I lacked evidence, but because I didn't have what my mother had: a community, an image, a brand. She had built an entire universe where I was just the lost child, and she was the angel in white. And every time I spoke the truth, they didn't call it an accusation. They called it attacking a mother. I lost friends, lost my part-time job. Even my extended family started turning away. An aunt messaged, "Do whatever you want, but don't let it affect Olivia. She needs peace." Peace. My sister was living like a puppet, trembling every time Mom gave her a cold look. I felt like I was standing in the middle of a storm, screaming to be heard, but only hearing the wind carry everything away. That's when I realized if I wanted to expose her, I couldn't rely on just my words. I needed real evidence, something no caption, no hashtag could ever deny. Chapter 7, Counterattack. I had cried. I had raged. I had screamed. Now I didn't anymore. Now I was silent. Because my mother couldn't be beaten with emotions. To bring down a perfect manipulator, I had to become the perfect witness. No emotion, no gaps, nothing that could be twisted. And the first thing I discovered was that she forgot to log out of her old iPad in the storage room. That iPad still automatically synced emails, photos, and even browser history. It took me less than 5 minutes to get into the iCloud account. With every click, another mask fell away. Documents ordering various gray market supplements, the kind not approved by the FDA but popular in extreme dieting communities. Screenshots of messages with suppliers asking about maximum dosages, fastest effect times, even bulk pricing if I buy a combo for both daughters. An email sent to another influencer. Her older daughter is getting hard to manage, but the younger one is more obedient. Results will come soon. Results: we were a project, a case study in transformation, not daughters. I downloaded everything, created a separate hard drive not synced anywhere, set the password as my mother's own birthday so I wouldn't forget. After that, I started tracking mom's Instagram analytics using the account I once helped her grow. The growth graphs lined up perfectly with posts about Olivia being hospitalized, videos of her daughter crying after failing another diet, live streams, daughter runs away, mother never gives up. She made the most money when we suffered the most. The deeper I dug, the more I realized mom wasn't just a toxic parent. She was a CEO, a businesswoman in the sick industry of content, and I'd been the marketing staff for that very brand. No pay, no freedom, no childhood. Now I had evidence, but I knew I still wasn't enough on my own. The key was Olivia. My sister, the only other person who witnessed the truth, the only one who'd held my hand as I convulsed from that injection. The problem is, she's still living under mom's shadow, and if I don't pull her out in time, I won't just lose a witness, I'll lose my sister. Forever. Chapter 8. The Price of Truth. I always thought, yeah, once I had enough evidence, everything would become clear. The truth would win, mom would be punished, Olivia and I would be free. But truth doesn't come that cheap. I started sending the documents to lawyers, to the police, to anyone who would listen. Every call meant reliving the pain. Every email felt like tearing myself open again. Each time I was left a little more exhausted. My health got noticeably worse. My kidneys were more damaged after the injection incident. I missed several follow-up appointments because I was busy meeting with lawyers. The doctor wrote in my file, non-compliant with treatment. One small line, but enough to make people doubt me all over again. Work started scrutinizing me. My boss messaged saying I was no longer focused, taking too many days off, bringing personal drama into work. I lost that job 2 weeks later. No insurance, no paycheck, no income. I asked to stay with my grandmother in the tiny, cold garage at the end of her yard. She agreed, with conditions. Don't mention your mother at the dinner table. Don't let the kids in the house hear you say anything bad about the family, in exchange for a place to sleep. I had to swallow my silence. Friends. Almost none left. People who once supported me were now silent. Some openly blocked me for airing family drama online. I took screenshots of everything just in case I got sued in return. I became someone no one wanted to mention. The rebellious daughter, the sister who makes everything a big deal. Just a name people only whispered with a shake of the head and a pitying look. My mother. Still live streaming every week. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But I love my children, and I'll never give up on them. Alongside photos of my old bedroom, now repainted in pastel colors, with the caption, "I'm keeping the room ready for you, waiting for the day you come back." I laughed, then I cried, then I went silent. I knew she was doing the most dangerous thing, rewriting the story while I was still living in it. I no longer knew who believed me. There was only one person left who could confirm what I was saying was true. Olivia. and Mom only had to keep her in her arms long enough for every trace to disappear. Chapter 9, Hope. Named Olivia. I'd come this far. Spent all my money, lost friends, lost my job. My health was in free fall. Every morning, waking up in that damp, dark garage, I would ask myself, was it worth it? Was it worth fighting against the person who gave me life? Was it worth risking everything just to be able to say I wasn't lying? The answer is yes, but I knew I couldn't win alone. And then that day finally came. Olivia was allowed to leave the treatment center for one afternoon to attend the hearing, a family meeting arranged by the court to assess whether Mom should still be allowed to be her legal guardian. I arrived early, sat in a white room, the smell of disinfectant and the air heavy as stone pressing on my chest. Mom came in after, impeccably made up light-colored blazer eyes that knew how to cry on cue, phone always in hand. Maybe she was checking her engagement stats in real time. Olivia walked in last. Baggy hoodie medical tape still wrapped around her arm from an IV. She kept her head down. Didn't look at me. Didn't look at Mom. Didn't look at anyone. We need to ask about living conditions and any behaviors related to health, the facilitator said, voice as neutral as a tape recorder. The room was silent. And then Mom gave me medicine. Olivia said, her voice barely above a whisper. No one spoke. She stared down at her knees. Her hands trembled, clutching her sleeve. It wasn't vitamins. I'm not sure what it was, but I didn't feel okay after taking it. And I know she's not lying. She looked up. For the first time in months, Olivia's eyes met mine. She tried to save me, and I did nothing. I don't really remember what I did after that. Maybe I cried. Maybe I sat frozen. Maybe I just sat there, hands clenched white. But I remember clearly the look in Mom's eyes at that moment. No more acting. No more tears. Just shock, as if a chess piece had just made the wrong move. The whole game trembled. Chapter 10, Freedom Isn't Happiness, It's Truth. After Olivia's testimony, everything began to move. Mom was barred from contacting either of us. All her social media accounts were frozen pending investigation. A toxicology order was issued. An independent report confirmed what Mom injected into me wasn't vitamin B12. It was a rapid weight loss compound banned for causing liver, kidney, and heart damage. I nearly died. And now they had proof. Mom wasn't arrested immediately. No handcuffs, no police knocking on the door in the middle of the night, just a summons, a hearing, a psychiatric evaluation. The law didn't see her as a murderer, but as a mother with impaired cognition, a victim of social pressure and online trends. I used to be angry about that, but later I understood. Mom wasn't just the perpetrator, she was also a product of a society obsessed with transformations, lose 10 kilo in 7 days meals under 200 calories. She just turned her own children into tools for that dream. Mom was sentenced to 2 years probation, mandatory psychiatric treatment, a ban on using social media, and no contact with anyone under 25 without supervision. No jail time, but no more control either. Olivia was transferred to another rehabilitation center far from the city where no one knew who Mom was. As for me, I didn't completely recover. My kidneys are permanently damaged. I lost my job. My bank account is nearly empty. My family is shattered, but every morning I wake up without fear of telling the truth. I eat a full meal without guilt. I walk in the park not counting steps, not logging calories, not worrying about finding the right camera angle for Mom to film a clip. I live not for anyone else, not to inspire anyone, just to live, because I'm still alive. One day, Olivia sent me a photo, a latte, with whole milk, the kind Mom used to call white poison. She wrote, "I think this is a small victory." I replied, "It's a big victory." Freedom isn't a happy ending. Freedom is being able to see the truth, believe in the truth, and never having to apologize for telling it. The story doesn't end with a harsh sentence, nor with the applause of justice. It ends with a full breakfast, a cup of coffee with whole milk, a girl who is still alive even if her body is no longer whole. Some endings aren't pretty, but they're real. And sometimes just surviving is a kind of victory. Thank you for staying until the very end. If you've ever gone through something similar, remember, you're not alone. See you in the next story here on True Reddit Reads.